Missiles, drones and explosions are now being reported across multiple countries in the Middle East. From Saudi Arabia to the United Arab Emirates and even Israel, the conflict surrounding Iran is rapidly spreading across the region. But why is Iran attacking across the Middle East? To understand what is happening today, we need to look at the strategy, alliances, and geography that shape Iran's power in the region. In the opening hours of March 1st, hundreds of Iranian missiles and drones crossed borders almost simultaneously, targeting a wide arc of countries. Saudi Arabia's Ras Tanura oil complex, one of the world's largest export terminals, was among the first sites threatened. Commercial hubs in Dubai and Abu Dhabi reported explosions and air raid alerts, while smoke was seen rising over Doha. Bahrain's Air Defense Command later confirmed intercepting 70 missiles and 59 drones. Qatar reported stopping 12 projectiles, and the UAE counted 16 ballistic missiles and 117 drones launched from Iranian territory. US and allied bases, oil refineries, radar stations and desalination plants all appeared on the target list. Gulf air defense crews worked non-stop, with Patriot and THAAD batteries engaging wave after wave of incoming threats. Despite a high rate of successful interceptions, the sheer volume of projectiles forced defenders to ration interceptors and rotate exhausted crews, underscoring the scale of the challenge facing the region's security forces. Within hours, images of shattered glass and damaged rooftops began circulating on regional news channels. Emergency crews in Dubai cordoned off sections of the financial district. In Bahrain, a desalination plant reported structural damage after a drone impact. The ripple effects reached far beyond physical destruction. By midday on March 2nd, leaders from Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, the UAE, and the United States released a joint statement sharply condemning Iran's actions. The communiqué called for immediate restraint and warned that further attacks would threaten the region's stability. Foreign ministers from the Gulf states convened in Riyadh, emphasizing the need for a coordinated diplomatic front. Insurance rates for shipping through the Gulf jumped, and international press coverage intensified, with analysts warning of broader economic risks. The speed and unity of the diplomatic response signaled just how quickly a military exchange could escalate into a regional political crisis. Iran's approach to long-range attacks relies on a blend of mass-produced drones and ballistic missiles, each designed for a specific purpose. The Shahed series, often called loitering munitions, are small pilotless aircraft that can circle above a target area for up to 30 minutes before striking. These drones are assembled in modular factories using imported GPS units, European camera modules, and microelectronics sourced through global intermediaries. The production line is efficient. Estimates suggest Iran can manufacture thousands of Shahed drones each month, with unit costs as low as $10,000. This low price allows Iran to deploy swarms that can overwhelm even advanced air defense systems. Alongside drones, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Aerospace Force fields a range of ballistic missiles, including the Fateh 110 and Qiyam-1, capable of reaching targets up to 2,000 kilometers away. These missiles are reserved for high-value sites such as radar stations or command centers, and are launched in coordination with drone swarms to complicate defensive responses. The doctrine is clear. Saturate defenses with layered, low-cost attacks, forcing adversaries to spend millions on interceptors for every wave. This strategy gives Iran a way to challenge stronger militaries without matching them, plane for plane or tank for tank. Iran's strike reach extends across almost the entire Gulf region, not by accident, but because of how geography and military basing overlap. US Air Force hubs like Al Udeid in Qatar and Al Dhafra in the United Arab Emirates, along with the Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, form a dense network of Allied positions within 300 to 500 kilometers of Iran's coastline. Oil refineries, export terminals and desalination plants line the western shore of the Gulf, often just minutes away by missile or drone. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow channel at the Gulf's mouth, funnels nearly 20% of the world's crude oil and 1/3 of its liquefied natural gas through waters watched by Iranian radar and missile batteries. Any disruption here threatens global energy flows, making the entire corridor from Kuwait's pipelines to Saudi Arabia's Ras Tanura terminal vulnerable. Host governments, shipping firms, and energy markets know that a single day of missile fire can ripple far beyond the battlefield, raising the stakes for every state caught in the crosshairs. Each time a Shahed drone, costing Iran as little as $10,000, crosses into Gulf airspace, air defense crews often respond with interceptors that can cost $3 million or more per shot. The Patriot PAC-3, widely used across Saudi Arabia and the UAE, represents one of the most expensive options. Even Israel's Iron Dome Tamir missile, considered a lower-cost alternative, still runs up to $200,000 per launch. This means that a single wave of Iranian drones can force defenders to spend hundreds of times more than the attackers just to keep vital infrastructure safe. As barrages continue, the financial strain on Gulf states and their allies becomes as real as the physical threat, pushing commanders to make difficult choices about which targets to defend and which to risk. Statements from Washington and Gulf capitals stressed the need for restraint, even as air defenses stayed on high alert. On February 28th, the White House stated that we will exercise maximum restraint and will not pursue actions that could broaden the conflict. Secretary Blinken told the UN Security Council that the United States will work hand in hand with our allies to keep this from becoming a regional war. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman called on all parties to exercise maximum restraint and return to diplomatic dialogue to avoid a wider war. The United Arab Emirates foreign minister warned that escalation would be catastrophic for the region's economies and peoples. Across these capitals, the message was clear. Military action would remain limited and diplomatic channels would stay open, even as leaders faced pressure at home to respond forcefully. Tensions remain high as missile ranges and alliances shift. With 1/5 of global oil moving through the Strait of Hormuz, every escalation risks a shock felt far beyond the region.